Hello, hello. Make sure I get you guys up on my iPad so I can sort of see comments. So I just posted an updated schedule for this week. Make sure I get you guys up on my... Let me turn my sound down. I was listening to Tim's demo, so my sound was up. I posted an updated schedule, and then I didn't word it very well, so it caused some confusion. So sorry about that. So demos will continue as per the schedule this week. Diane and I had talked about flip-flopping Sundays to do live classes, but she got such a great response, and everybody in her class was like, do it again next week. So a little bit of change of plan. So I'm going to do Monday for an online class, a live class similar to format as hers, so that I don't overlap my friend. Hello, everybody. So good to have you. I know I'm disappointing a lot of you by going to twice a week instead of daily. I'll try to pop on just randomly if I can, and also try to do a few more Instagram lives, because those are fun and super informal. So if you're not on Instagram, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't do Instagram. And my response would be, why not? I absolutely love Instagram. I like it way better than Facebook, and Instagram rocks the Casbah. So follow on Instagram as well, and then you can turn on notifications for that. And Diane and I will try to do some more chats as well, because that was super fun when we did that before. Hi, glad to have everybody with me. Thank you so much for joining me. New nails, yes. Pink and blue. Did those on Saturday while I listened to Tim. Trying to support all of my good friends who are just trying to make it. Hi, everybody. So good to have you. I had a couple of questions as well about the burlap pages, and I said, well, didn't I do a burlap video? And then Jillian was like, no, you did denim. But I feel like I've talked a lot about burlap throughout a lot of the demos. I have referenced it a little bit, so I can address it again today and hopefully demystify that for you. Hey, everybody. So good to have you. I feel like I'm disappointing you. So Maria, I do my own nails with Peppy Gel. I don't do multi-level marketing companies anymore. But Peppy Gel's not an MLM. It is it's a woman-owned business, and it's a dip powder system. So there's a little bit of a learning curve for doing it, and I'm not the best at it, but it's really strong. I have a really oily nail bed, and so this is a lot stronger, and I just love it. I got a little addicted to it and bought a million colors, so it's super fun to play with, and it lasts. For a lot of people, it lasts 2 or 3 weeks. For me, with my oily nail beds, it lasts about a week, which is good enough for me. So, all right, cool beans. So good to have everybody. Hey, sexy Susie. Hey, I totally giggled somebody's comment, I don't know what group, about that my that my demos were her cool beans. That made me laugh. I just thought that was so adorable. So just remember, demos are not going away. I am definitely still doing demos, just not quite as often, so that maybe I can finish these online class plans. Remember, I was like, I'm going to write a new online class at least once a week. Well, yeah, I've done one, and one is partly done. So that's kind of the main goal. So I always say I'm like a bad rash. You never really get rid of me, right? You never really get rid of me. Okay, so today's topic is, by request, it is ideas for the craft pages. So the original Mixed Dina Wakely Media Journal that came out, I don't know, a couple years ago now, it has it had 4 substrates in it, right? And there was Kraft, there was a handmade watercolor paper, there was burlap or Hessian, and also canvas, a really thin, kind of unprimed canvas. And the backlash to the burlap happened almost immediately. Notice I haven't taken it out because there's still a white burlap in the blue journal because I personally really love it. But you know, the white pages are pretty, they're pretty self-explanatory, right? And then the other substrates can be a little bit confusing, and I realize that. So Kraft quickly became one of my absolute favorite surfaces in the original journal, so much that on my request list for Ranger is an all Kraft journal. Like, that's how much I love it. And we also have this, which is Kraft cardstock. It's the same Kraft that's in the journals, just done in loose form. So no, it's not going away, Caroline. The Kraft is not going away, and the burlap's not going away, and the black journal's not going away. So the Kraft, what's interesting about the Kraft, like if you ever buy, Kraft cardstock from other companies, I'm not trying to just diss other companies, but I'm just saying that what's unique about my Kraft is the weight of it. It's not as coarse as a brown paper bag might be, because Kraft is often kind of, coarse and primitive, but mine it has a smoothness to it that makes it really nice to work on, and it has a great strength. So what I use the loose sheets for of the Kraft paper is a lot of book pages. So when I make handmade books, I love to use this as pages. So first question that came through is, do you gesso on the Kraft? And I absolutely do not gesso the Kraft. So when I first played with my very first journal, I was gessoing the Kraft. Then I thought, what is the point of gessoing this beautiful paper? Because all of the Kraft color goes away if you gesso it. So I don't gesso the Kraft at all. If you felt, it is a really heavyweight Kraft. Like it's heavy. It's like Melinda said, it's not flimsy. This is not namby-pamby Kraft. And so I don't gesso it. If you decide that you need to gesso it, that you can use clear. I don't even bother though, because I'm never covering the entire page usually. Here I sort of did just because I got carried away with masking, but in general, I don't want to cover it all because I want the Kraft background to show through. Now, Linda has a comment which I want to address as well. She says, I must use too much water, Kraft buckles. So I don't use any water when I use Kraft. None. Like I said before, yes, you could use clear gesso if you felt like you needed it. It will change the color of the Kraft. It will darken it a little bit. But I don't put anything that is diluted on the Kraft, because the Kraft just, the water soaks in, and then you've spread out that pigment a little bit, and I'll show you, it just doesn't look as good if you dilute it. So if I am using Kraft, then as my substrate, I use full strength acrylic. My acrylic what's the benefit of mine is that it doesn't have a ton of water in it because it's heavy body. Okay, so by putting full strength acrylic on here, I'm able to not buckle the pages and to get color pop. So the Kraft is just going to be a different neutral. Okay. Yeah, you could use clear gesso, but I really don't think you even need to bother. So I left 2 brushes in my water over the weekend. Not bad. Only 2 this time. Woohoo! All right, so this is a dry brush, so I'm not even going to add any moisture whatsoever to my paint. And then full strength Dina Wakley Media acrylic. That heavy body. And so by not adding moisture, I'm getting a lot of color pop, which is what I like. Okay. And I don't know why I like Kraft. I mean, it's okay if you don't like it. Thanks, Ranger. But I love, love, love the full strength acrylic on it. It just kind of like how black gesso is going to make your colors pop. That is very similar, an effect that you get, just not quite as strong of an effect, but you're going to get that pop as well with the change in the neutral, the change in the substrate. So full strength acrylic makes a great background. And you guys know that I absolutely love white space. So here it would be brown space, I guess. I'm not going to cover the whole page because I like it. And, Carolyn says, I love variety in substrates. That's exactly why I wanted this. I mean, I need you guys to have an adventurous spirit. And so when you get to your pages that you kind of go, you just got to go for it. No, so this was lime and sky and marine. Okay, craft space. There you go. Instead of white space, it's craft space. Can you spray on the craft? Well, you can. The first spray that you do, what's going to happen is because the sprays have more moisture in them, it's going to kind of soak in and be dull. But then once that paper becomes saturated, it no longer soaks in. So the colors again were lime and sky and marine. Marine is like a really dark teal. So let's see if I still have enough left in here to spray. All right. Oh, nope. I'm almost out of this color. All right, I'm just going to pour it. So do you see how the first incarnation of that spray is soaking in, right? Now the second incarnations are going to resist, or basically that first incarnation of the spray is going to seal that craft, right? And then as you keep adding, the colors start to pop and pop and pop more. So my number 10 tags, there's been a run on the number 10 tags because of the demos. So even I can't get them right now, you guys. So sorry about that. I will tell you though, there are lots of great tags Ranger has. Diane, this is fuchsia spray. Diane has wonderful tags. Diane has tags made out of her, doesn't she have tags, Kelly, made out of her Ranger, out of her journal paper? Doesn't she? Tim's tags are amazing. I mean, Tim has a bunch of different substrates and tags, I think. So yeah. Do you have a list of colors blend? Yes, there is a list online. We're going to do a color blend, class this week, right? So, I mean, I love my white tags too, but there's distress cardstock tags. There's Diane's tag. I mean, listen, I'm almost out of, my tags. So I've been using others because being out of something is not going to stop me, right? This is one of the ones I left the lids off before. Oops. Don't leave your lids off, people. All right, so see how once you build spray up on the craft, that first level's going to soak in, and then subsequent levels will start to sit on top instead of soak in and give you some really cool effects. I'm just going to let that run because I like the way that looks. It needs some blue. La 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 la. Yeah. Thanks, Kelly. There is a color theory handout with color mixing ideas, and we are going to talk about that this week as well. So now I'm adding marine spray. So that was fuchsia, lime, white, marine. And then once you get enough spray built up on the craft is when you're starting to get that resist that happens. And that resist happens just with that gloss spray naturally, right? How do you unclog sprays? Keep your lids on so they don't clog. And then if they get blocked, you just have to scratch the film and then press the pump down and hold it like 30 seconds to a minute. And then that way you get pressure built back up in the stem. But I really do find that they don't clog if you keep lids on. They don't clog very much anyway. I don't have a problem. I have a problem keeping lids on, which you guys know. I came in today though, and there's only one that doesn't have a lid on. Oh no, two. Not bad for me. Sometimes I come in and I've left the lids off all of them. So I'm constantly trying to, like this one, I've left the lid off in the past. I have a pile over here of ones that are hard to spray because I've left the lids off. Oh, so I just need to take the time and work them and then they'll be fine. Yeah, wipe the bottle off when you're done. I heaven forbid I do anything that requires thought, right? All right, so of course that bottle of paint, I can't get any more out, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Let me wipe my scissors off on my apron. Oh, la, la, la. All right, looking for a mini blending tool. And a stencil. All right. Hi, Curdy. But look how luscious those look as they're drying. They're just, on the craft. I mean, do you just want to not lay that on the floor and roll around in it? I mean, really. It's just so good. So a little bit of sky on the blending tool. Stencil. So like I say with all of the surfaces, I say this about all of them. And then I don't know if y'all just don't believe me, but I really do mean it. All of the surfaces you can do everything on. I can draw on the burlap. I can paint on the burlap. I can draw on the craft. I can paint on the craft. I can spray on them all. Everything you know how to do, you can do on all of the substrates. It's just, okay, that's funny that I just did ill there instead of spill. All of it works the same. Here we're gonna be 98 degrees this week, by the way. Kim says she just sprayed her entire iPad. Yes, I've done that so many times. Oh my gosh. That's why alcohol wipes are your friend. There was another question. Curious about bleed through. There's no bleed through on the craft. Kathy, sometimes the balls get stuck. She says she bought a gloss sprays and the turquoise doesn't have a ball. Sometimes the ball's really stuck in the pigment at the bottom. I found that some of them I thought didn't have balls actually did, but you definitely can just email customer service at Ranger and they'll send you a ball bearing. You can put a bead or even a little rock in there if you want, but if you don't want to wait for the ball bearing. Okay. So now I've got this background done, and the drama, I think, is really, really good here with the craft. Don't you think? And I've got stamps here that I did another day. 3 with no balls. Huh. Weird. Email. You can definitely contact customer service. Always can contact them. It's never a bad idea. I get a lot of customer service emails actually, and what I always will do is refer you to Ranger. That's not my department. Ranger does all of that, and they will. It also helps if you send a photo, like if there's something defective. There was a gal that emailed me this week and said that she had 2 rubies in her what do you call it? Her scribble stick. set. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. So you just got to email Ranger and they will make that right for you for sure. Okay, I'm just looking for glue. You think that I would have it on here somewhere. I can't find it, so we're going to staple. La, 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 la. They sent you some ball bearings. Yeah, they will. Yeah. And you know, the gloss spray is a new product too, so maybe some of them get missed out for sure. Yeah, the white should have a little ball in it too. You see a face with a runny nose on the right. Awesome. And then, oh, sorry, I am a hot mess. But is that surprising any of you? I mean, really. Really. I know, it's so fun having all you guys here. Really is a privilege and an honor to have all of you join me. Really, I truly, truly, truly feel that way. All right. Yeah, it happens. And right now, you know, they're exercising social distancing as much as they can. They don't have as many people in the warehouse and in the factory just to keep everybody safe. So they're kind of running with skeleton crews to make things happen for everybody and not shut down. So, you know, it's just one of those things. Otherwise, you apply tissue with, I would have applied it with gel medium, either ultra thick or original gel. If I wanted this to smooth down and be almost completely transparent, I would have put gel medium under and over it. Today I would have just glued it down with a little bit of ultra thick, which I just don't see anywhere. Let me check the floor. Oh, have mercy. Have mercy. You think I would be prepared? I've sat here. Luckily, look what I've got in I have a drawer here of mediums, and I grabbed myself 2 new ones. So when I lose those, you can remind me that I have added those. All right. I did change the name of the Dina Wakely Media Tribe. I don't know. I don't want to misappropriate the word tribe. I do understand that isn't the best. And I just thought we're kindred spirits, right? So I changed that name. Make sure you join us there. These sprays are still really wet on this page. So they're not really wanting me to work on them. Let's talk about scribble sticks on the craft. So think about what I've said here. And what I've said is I don't love to add water, too much fluid to this craft, okay, because of the way that it absorbs. So I love scribble sticks on this craft, but I don't usually wet them. Let me move this out of the way. One of the reasons is I'm just going to work on a piece of loose craft here. Again, same stuff that's in the journals. Let me show you the difference. So the reason I don't wet it is full strength, they pop like your paint will. Okay. But if I come through and wet it, it's going to spread that pigment out, and then the water's going to soak in weird. And it's just not going to be as vibrant. Now, maybe that's the look that you want, right? Fiona, I never gesso the craft. Never with clear, never with white. I do use hearts all the time, actually. I still use hearts. Julie, you would post the photo of yourself wearing the apron in the Dina Wakely Media Kindred Spirits group. Ultra thick does dry clear, yes. Paint is permanent on craft. You like I said before, you can definitely use clear gesso, but I don't do it. I mean, if you feel like you need to gesso it, but again, see the difference between the full strength and the watered down. It's just, I mean, it's okay. It's just not my favorite. So I don't do things on the Kraft, sorry for the shaking, that that I'm gonna need to water down. I personally don't like the way it looks. Now, just because I do it or don't do it doesn't mean that you need to do it that way, right? It just means that's what I do. Of course, you can stamp on it. It stamps like a butter, stamps like a dream. And all of the stuff you know how to do works really well on the Kraft. Your tissues will not dissolve 100%, not go transparent, because the Kraft is a darker background, right? So if I put these tissues down, you're still going to see some of the white. It's just because we're putting it on a background that's a tad darker. And so you just have to be aware of that and either use that to your advantage, or take these white pieces and tint them. And I have, booby traps. Remember, I've done a lot of tinting. I showed you guys that before. So if you tint it, then it doesn't matter if it dissolves all the way. So I'm going to do a combination of white and tinted. And now that I found my glue, I'm going to open. So I'm going to open the original gel. And I am going to use a brush and not my finger here. All right. Anytime you put a wet medium on the Kraft, you will change its color. You will darken it. So I'm going to glue a little bit under, a little bit over, but I'm really not going to worry about if I have edges sticking up or something like that. It just doesn't bug me. But I just love the look. I love it, love it, love it. Love the look of the Kraft. It just makes me happy. White on Kraft. Oh, I mean, really, the simplicity of white on Kraft, I think, is so, so cool. I like it. I like it. I do. So this is tissue that I had previously tinted with gloss spray. You can tell it's gloss spray and not acrylic tinted tissue because of the glossy, kind of glassine, crackly nature of it. Like I said in that video, pre-tint a ton of it. So when you're moving along and creating, you don't have to stop and tint it and then wait for it to dry. Just do it. Do it all. Turn on Netflix. I watched Outer Banks. I actually quite liked it. I thought it was going to be cheesy at the beginning, but it was kind of a fun mystery. So I watched that. My husband finally watched Tiger King, so now I can talk to him about it. I'm like, you guys gotta watch this. It's unbelievable. They're all like, no. So see how that's not gonna disappear completely transparent, but some of the white will still be visible. Again, that's just because the background is a deeper tone to it. I always say it goes transparent on, like light backgrounds, and then everything else it goes semi-transparent. So if you want to work on the Kraft cardstock, you can always tip this right into a journal. We made these extra pages, we made them the same size as the original journals so that they can be tipped right in. Look how cool that looks. Seriously, I love it. Remember, I'm easily easily amused, but still, I really like it. Tiger King is really bizarre. Oh my gosh. They're all despicable, aren't they? A little bit of speckle. And then focal point. Let's see, what do I have to choose from? This is what I have to choose from today. I'm just in the mood for her today. You don't watch TV? I love TV. I mean, I do read books too, but I listen mostly to TV while I'm in the studio. TV and podcasts. Sometimes I have to rewind it, or sometimes I don't really know what's going on because I'm not paying super close attention. But I really like it. All right. So to do the rule of thirds, remember 1, 2, 3, 4, where the thirds intersect. If you divide your paper into thirds, is doesn't mean you have to put your focal point there, but it is often pleasing. So let's audition it. So here, 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 or here. That's the rule of thirds. Now that said, I've got this dense piece happening here up and down this one side, so I don't think it would be terrible to put it there. In fact, I quite like it there because it's filling out this circle that I had drawn. So podcast, I really love Justin Long's podcast. I can't remember the name of it. I love true crime. So, but Justin Long's podcast is really fun. A lot of the Canadian Broadcasting Company podcasts are so well done. I'd have to look on my phone to see what they're all called. Over My Dead Body, Someone Knows Something. What else? Trying to think. A lot of true crime. Crime Junkie, My Favorite Murder. Dateline has a podcast. If you have not listened to Cold, C-O-L-D, Cold, it's about the Susan Powell murder. Oh my gosh, that podcast is so well done, you guys. You've got to watch Cold. It's oh my gosh, you guys. It's really good. That's the one that got me hooked on podcasts, actually. Very good podcast. Unsolved Murders. Oh, cool. There's a lot of art podcasts out there. I listen to some scuba diving ones. I'm not very great. I mean, I get attention deficit, ADD sometimes, squirrel, when it comes to podcasts. So I go through phases, but I do like them a lot. I always said I wasn't the type that I don't think I could listen to a book. I know Diane does a lot of Audible, listening to her books while she works. And I always thought, I don't think I could do that. I don't know if I could concentrate on it. But maybe I could now that I've listened to podcasts a little bit. Maybe I'm training myself. Who knows? Oh, Murder in Oregon was really good, Yvonne. And it made me think about Salem because it all happened in Salem. Yeah, I really liked that. I'll have to come back and read a lot of your podcast suggestions and add them to my lists. I love books, and I was some of the book ones I've read, I'm like, I don't know, I just can't do it. All right, let's give her the pox. Remember, you got to be at peace with the pox. But isn't that a really fun look on the craft? I know, Yvonne, you did live through it in Salem. It made me think of all you guys. The murder in Oregon. What about scribble sticks? Yep. I mean, they'll be a little diluted, but you can do it. Yep, Laura Horn's podcast is great. Julie Faye Fan Balzer has an art podcast. There's another one, The Left-Brained Artist, that I've been on, right? Okay, any other last questions before I move to burlap? Did that give you guys some ideas? Beverly, the Susan Powell podcast is cold. The word cold. Kim, yes, Serial. I've listened to all of Serial. Serial is an excellent podcast. Yeah, Someone Knows Something is good. So there's one of the podcasts that was about the NXIVM cult. It was a Canadian broadcasting company production. It was really, really good. What was that one called? Yeah, of course, washi. Yep, washi will absolutely all the stuff that you can do on your paper will stick to this. So, yep, washi. Yep, quotes would be good on this. I would let it dry and then I would add journaling. I would add text. I've had a few questions about the paint pens that I use. Most of the time I use Poscas. The stores that I go teach at very often have Poscas on the shelf. And when I see Poscas on the shelf, I buy them. Okay, so I absolutely love Poscas. These are readily available at many, many, many of the independents. Okay, yep, I can show you some more finished craft pages for sure. And then the one that I've been using recently, this is the Pilot Juice paint pen that I bought when I was in Japan. I bought Pilot Juice have gel pens as well, but this is a juice paint pen. But honestly, they work just the same as Poscas. I mean, if you want Poscas, if you want to go down the wormhole trying to find Pilot Juice paints, you certainly can. Probably jet pens, but Poscas, there's no difference, except that these were, something that I bought when I was overseas. So, I mean, I've got scores. A lot of these aren't even open because, like I said, when I go to a store and they have Poscas, I give students the first chance to buy them. And then usually one of the things that I purchase on my way out of a store is more Posca paint pens. I really, really like Posca paint pens. So they're fantastic. My absolute favorite. Okay. So cool. Remember, I always add journaling later. Yeah, Poscas, I don't love Molotovs. I don't know if I think that maybe Molotovs are, maybe Arizona's too dry or I just suck. I ruin them. Yep, you can absolutely use pens on the burlap. All right, any last questions that I missed about the burlap? I think I saw one go by. Do the comments stay? The comments do stay when you watch replays. They don't stay on, they don't get translated over to YouTube or my blog. But if you watch the replay on Art of Dina Wakely page, then you will definitely see the comments. Julie asks, just about color theory, is there a good book? Not really. I mean, I've recommended before books by Chris Cozen, Cozen, and Nita Leland and Nancy Rayner, Reyner. So, but a lot of them get really, 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 really complicated. And that's who said they volunteer at a true crime festival. That's awesome. Isabella, you volunteer for the Toronto True Crime Festival. They're on Instagram and have podcasts. Cool. All right. Let me grab I did do a color video as well. Let me grab a journal. A lot of the journals that have craft in, I have cannibalized. So I've already torn them up to use for other things. As I was looking today for journals that had craft, I was like, oh man, I don't have very many because I've already torn them up. So craft here, just gluing tissue, right? No wet medium on there, just tissue. Craft is a great background for collage, you guys. So here I took a really ugly painting, cut it up. Here I just used it as background. These were pages in a small journal that I tore out. I don't know why. Remember, I cannibalized everything. This was a page on loose craft that I then cut down and stapled in the book. But it's just super fun. Oh, I was going to take one of those craft pages and show you what a cute little book from one page it makes. I'll do that next too. La 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 la. So a lot of the, this book I was doing a lot of using stapling samples to it from the shows as well. All right, let me find another one. I've been in a big cannibalize phase, so a lot of the stuff is torn up and repurposed and put into other things. Like let's see how this one's, I've torn pages out of this one already. In fact, it looks like I've torn most of the craft out because I probably wanted them for that journal did not have a single piece of craft in it. I'd torn them all out for something. Oh my gosh. All right, so this is a big granddaddy journal that also has craft in it. And here's a page done on craft. Here I did acrylic paint, figures, silhouettes, looks like paint pen that leaked, and Stabilo. Here is another craft page, large page. So this was swipes of paint like I started with in this journal. Okay, so swipes of paint, and then just drew over it with scribble sticks and Stabilo all pencil. By the way, I did frequently asked questions on my blog, and I pinned it. Yes, this craft is a specific type of craft paper that's bound into my journals and also available as loose sheets. Now, Shannon says her colors don't look that bright on craft. If you're using a wet brush, they won't be. You got to use a dry brush, and you've got to use full strength heavy body paint. Okay, that way it will be bright. That's the key for craft. Scribble sticks. This is scribble sticks on canvas. The size of the giant. No, the size of the giant is like. I do know I have a ruler in here somewhere. It looks to be about 10 by 13, maybe? 10 by 14? When you use your crayons to color faces, do you add water? On craft, I do not, no. It depends on if I want it, here I did not add water. So I wanted it to look scribbly. If I want it to blend, then yes, I add water. So here, no water. Diane's paint pens, yep, you can use Diane's paint pens as well on the craft. Paint in general looks good on craft, okay? Just don't water it down too much, because remember, if you water it down, then you're going to get diluted pigment on that brown, and it's going to soak in weird. This was stamped on craft and then colored with acrylic paint. So painted with full strength paint. Okay, if that makes sense. Stamp on craft with archival, black archival. Okay. La, 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 la. Experiments back here that I never finished. So this is still a journal. Oh, there was a page there that I have ripped out. I don't know why. I must have wanted it for something. See, I'll do something that I kind of like, and then I'm like, I'm taking that out. And then I rip it out. And then I frame it or sell it or do something with it. All right, does that help with craft, my friends? Just be brave. If you have, oh, thanks, Kelly. If you have an adventurous spirit, you don't need my permission to try something. Like I'll see a lot of comments during not just my demos, but other artist demos, and people will say, well, can you do this with this? You know, and I don't know if you can do that with that. Try it and let me know. Okay. The tissue paper with words, that was tissue. That was one of my rubber stamps that I stamped on my plain collage tissue, and that I then glued in. Okay. So this is one of my rubber stamps. It is in a stamp set. This, no, this stamp set here. So I took this stamp from the For the Love of Circle stamp set, stamped it in archival on my plain tissue, and then you can use it as collage elements. We talked about that when I did the video on stamping. When you show two pupils, should they both have the same catch light? Yes, they should. They need to both have the same catch light in the same place. So if it's on the right side of one pupil, it needs to be on the right side of the other pupil, okay? If it's not, your person will look like they need to be, wrapped up in a straitjacket, okay? So, all right, cool beans. Shall we talk about burlap? Burlap. Yeah, my collage paper, I mean, technically we call it collage paper. I call it tissue all the time because that's just what it's like, but it's strong. It stands up to all kinds of nonsense. It doesn't disintegrate with fluid. It's awesome. You can get it pre-printed, like this is pre-printed tissue. And then you can get it plain where you can do your own stamping and your own printing and stuff like that on that collage tissue. All right, burlap. Again, so much grief I've gotten over burlap. And I like I said before, I have talked a lot about the burlap in previous demos. Here I sprayed with gloss spray and the alphabet stencils. Where did that go? Oop. There, I painted on it. Hold on, there was a spray, wasn't there? So the answer is, can I paint on the burlap? Yes. Can I stamp on the burlap? Yes. Can I draw on the burlap? Yes. Okay. The key is that it's going to look different depending on the medium that you use. I mean, oh, here it is. So this is gloss spray with my alphabet, right? Now, a gal asked me a question in a message, and she says, well, I'd love some ideas for mediums that don't bleed through. There are no mediums that don't bleed through the burlap because it's so porous. It's got such a loose weave. So if you want to prevent this, if you want to prevent the bleed, then you've got to stick another piece of paper or wax paper or deli paper or tissue, cloth tissue, or something in there. Okay. I would say 75% of the time that the burlap in my journals I use as a bulletin board. So I staple things to it. It's just like here, I stapled this tag because it's perfect. You do a little bit of a spray background and then staple the tag. But and it's just easy. I mean, we all make a million tags, and then people are always asking me, what do you do with tags? I'm always like, I staple them in my journal. It's perfect because they're part of your art, right? Maria says she loves cutting the burlap. Yep, I love cutting it too. I'll shred it. I'll cut windows in it. It's really fun. Just a fun surface to play with. But let's take this for example. It was Kay Pierce who turned me on to drawing on the burlap. I just hadn't even tried it, but you can't, I'm just gonna do circles. So you can I was gonna do a face, so I'm like, oh, you guys are probably sick of faces. You're going to get a different look. So anything that's fine detailed is probably not your best choice on the burlap, but anything, big and bold works great on the burlap. You can draw on it, you can stencil it, you can spray it. The answer is, what can you do? The answer is yes, correct. And and it's gonna seep through, and you're gonna be at peace with it, and you're gonna call that a head start for the other side. And if that just sets your OCD off, which I realize it really might, then you just need to prevent it by putting something back there. All right. So funny that I had that mini blending tool in my hand like 1 minute ago. People. Sometimes I'm amazed at the hot mess that never changes. It's more work to stencil on burlap. It's a pain, but it's worth it. If you have Dilution sprays, guess what? They work on burlap. If you have Tim Holtz paint and sprays, guess what? Works on burlap. Just gonna be rougher, give you way more texture. It's just gonna be different. I love stenciling on the burlap. It's so good, you guys. And then, you know, it's gonna bleed through. And then, oh, it didn't bleed through too bad that time. If it bleeds through, then Head Start or gesso it, or, you know, it'll be fine. Let's spray a little too. So similar. You want to build up that color, kind of like you want to build it up on the Kraft. And it just looks awesome. Ooh, that's a hot mess in the best way. I do love me a good hot mess. There's so much spray here that I want to not waste it. Using my little tags now. Oh, cool. Some of the blackberry or whatever color, what was I using? Blackberry came up as well on that print. I'm just pulling a print off that stencil, so now, you know, now I've got pre-tinted tissue to use another time. That gets thrown back in the drawer. Those get set aside for another day. Oh, that's too big. It covers up too much of my hot mess. Oh, I like that though. Like, that's big too. We'll make it smaller. Move it up so you can see it. There you go. Staple it. If you do glue anything to the burlap, I recommend the ultra thick glue. The original gel mediums, just it's for thin paper, right? And it's really not great for something this textured. The paper is not deli paper. My tissue paper is not deli. It's not waxed. Deli has dry wax on one side. Mine is, it really is a unique beast. It's its own special awesomeness, I promise. And you need it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't want to add tissue behind that, okay? So here's my thought process. So I don't own a hot glue gun. So as I put this here, it's covering up more of my background than I really want it to. So I'm gonna add some contrasting color to the images themselves. That way I can get a contrast happening. This is when I stamped with gloss spray. So it's permanent, it's dry, it's not gonna bleed or anything like that. Colors match the background colors a little bit. Yeah, you can add fibers or ribbon through the tag holes. I really think Tim is the person that got us all hooked on doing tags. I mean, he'd been doing them for years and years and years. They're just the best. Let's give him the pox. The flower on the left, Joyce, that's something that I teach in a class. So that flower is, if you take my abstract flowers class, on my website. All right, let me move to another burlap page. So the burlap in the blue journals is, we did a lighter color burlap. So we did a white burlap versus brown. just to still torture you with the texture, but it just gives you a lighter neutral to build on. And thanks, Joyce. I do think that one turned out good. So scattered in with that denim, see again, you'll see me always stapling. Scattered in with that denim, you're going to find that burlap, there's a little bit less of it, but it is just plain fun to use. Looks like oh, here we go. So this is gloss spray on the burlap. You can see I've even been able to spray both sides. And I'm going to cut that page down. So one of the things that I like to do if I cut a page down, well, first of all, I like that this page peeks through on that side and this page peeks through on this side. And I like that play there. This is why the long, scary Tim Holtz scissors work better for creating, for me. I can cut a little bit straighter with them. All right. So sometimes I'll leave it that way. Another thing that I'll do with this, though, is that I'll take tags or a piece of journal page or something, and I will staple or glue, but guess what I usually do? I'm going to staple them back to back, kind of sticking out from the cut down page. And I like the way that looks. I think that's kind of a fun way to use your tags as well. And I love the burlap that's been stenciled there. And the Fude Bowl, it does sort of write on the burlap. I think the Stabilo writes a bit better just because it's soft. Thank you, Jillian. All right. So that's kind of fun. And then with the pages you've cut off, you can cut these up and use these as accents. If you noticed as I flipped through, I think I did that page on a video, right? I did. So remember when we sprayed through that? It just creates a really cool mask shape there. A lot of the pages in this book are done from the videos. But I just love, love, love spraying through the burlap. If you haven't done that yet, you got to cut yourself a little piece of the burlap so that you can spray through it. The blue journal, my journals are awesome. I just love them. They're just fun for what I do, for how I use them. Oh, that was, I keep picking up the ones that are empty. And the ones back there are the ones that I need to unclog. All right, here we go, my friends. The reason why it's going in a line is I likely have dried spray stuck to my nozzle. Oop, now it's spraying everywhere. Oh my gosh. I cleaned it off, but not well enough. That now has been sprayed. Cool. As well as everything else on my desk. I'm just gonna do one. Okay, I've got to clean that off, y'all. La, 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 la. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, that's a big skin right there. Oh. Oh, that's what happens when you don't have long fingernails. Okay, cool. Now, I think it's hilarious I accidentally sprayed that, so let's cut that out. I'll never forget, back when I used to use a lot of Adirondack spray, because that was the only thing available at the time. I was in Holland teaching a class, and I told everybody, please make sure that when you spray, the nozzle is pointed downwards so that you do not spray your neighbor. And then I proceeded to pick up a bottle of, I think it was lettuce, which is a green spray, and spray up my chest, my neck, and into my face. Like I didn't even pay attention, and I sprayed my neck. After the very minute I lectured them about be aware where your nozzle's pointing. Oh, funny. The Adirondack color sprays are retired. Yes, they are. Paint splatters, always a good idea. How much of each color of your spray do you have on hand? I've got a whole drawer back there. Remember I said last week I need to open up a bunch of my, because a lot of these are just completely empty. I've been spraying so much that I need to open up a new set for myself. I just haven't done it yet. So, and I need to follow my own advice and stop leaving lids off. Have mercy. How do I change my stripes? I can't really, right? All right, so this one's almost gone, so I'm adding some cool drips in a contrasting color. So when this dries, this little area that I sprayed over with the burlap, that is going to be filled with words. It just is begging to be written on, I think. It's just going to be covered in words. For example, if I take some of this tissue now, and I don't want to just glue the words on, I want to write them. But, you know, it's going to be kind of cool, right? La, 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 la. I don't have any glue on this because it will stick when this gloss spray is dry. Gloss spray is the best glue ever invented. Oh my gosh, you guys, we've already been on an hour. All right, so does this give you guys some ideas for burlap? Hopefully, I just want to, basically, I'm giving you permission to play with it. Spray on it, paint on it, stamp on it, stencil it, cut it up, staple things to it. I promise that good things will happen when you do. And, you know, it's going to elevate your artwork in a way because it can be an artistic challenge, right? So I would say that the question is that tissue considered grounding? No, what grounds the stamp is it's connected to the top and the side. So that's actually already grounding. Also, this big pink color field, because it touches an edge, if my stamp would have been further in, I would have considered it grounded because this background layer is grounded. So you really need to think about grounding if you're looking at your work and thinking something's not right with this. And then you have to think, okay, is this stuff grounded? If it's not, if something's not right, you know, it might be that. Okay, I think this butterfly needs to go there, you guys. If you like the way that it looks, then you don't need to worry about it, right? I don't really need to, I don't think of the rules unless something from my work is bugging me, and then you have to figure out, why is this bothering me? So grounded, Lillian, it just means that your images are not floating around, that it seems like that they belong on the page, if that makes sense. So play with your craft, play with your burlap. Any last questions that I can answer? I would love to answer them. Time really does go fast. My goodness. Do I plan to come out with new colors? Yep. New colors are planned. Absolutely. So layered, as you mentioned previously. Um, Sometimes. I mean, oh, the folded book. Thank you. So you know what? No hints about the live class yet. Sorry. The folded. What's YPOXes? That just means I've speckled. I like speckling, so it makes me happy. Totally up to you. If you want to speckle. So grounded is connected. Grounded is connected, and there's many, many ways to ground things. Many, many ways. All right. Always new stamps and stencils. Always, always. All right, so let's take... Okay, I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to tear her off. Well, no, we'll just keep her on there. All right, I'm going to fold. The only reason I'm going to do this one is because it's already decorated. Yeah, let's tear her off. It's already decorated, so it's going to make a cuter book. Okay, so I'm going to fold the paper. This is demoed. By the way, this was demoed on the Sunday that I did the marbling experiment fail that didn't work at all. So the marbling video, it starts with the marbling and then it ends with book from one sheet of paper. I had enough people tell me they can't find it because it was buried in the marbling video that I also isolated the book from one sheet of paper video and republished it on its own. Okay, so this is available on its own as well. But remember you do a first hot dog fold, then you come back and you do a hamburger fold, and then you do half of the hamburger. So each half that you just folded, you're going to fold in half again. You're going to open your book up and you're going to cut. So if you're looking at your book from this side, I'll do it this way so you're not getting any visual interruption from the chaos. This is where you want to cut. You want to cut from the fold to the first intersection. Okay? There are no mistakes in stamping. There are no mistakes in mixed media. There are mistakes in cutting and gluing. And so if you cut wrong, then you have cool cutted. You have cool cut paper, but you don't have a book. All right, so then you go back to the original hot dog fold. And then these two middle creases, they need to pop outwards. So if they're not already popping outwards, you need to make them pop outwards. So here's the hot dog. You squish in. See that? Squish that in, and then you can put the pages in the order that you would like them. It will always be a little puffy, and it will never line up properly. It just won't. You just have to be at peace with that. Because this piece of paper that we started with is small, you end up with the cutest itty bitty book. It's so cute. It's so cute. And you can use a bone folder, bone fold it. I made that into a verb. If you want or not, right? So, but it just makes the cutest, perfect for a gift card. This is the cutest little size. And then this book here is one. That I did using the exact same method, but I started with a much bigger piece of paper. I think, Yvonne, do you remember the size? Started with this size of a piece of paper, which maybe is, so it looks like it's 12 by 18 probably. 12 by 18 inch piece of paper. So if you start with a bigger paper, you get a bigger book. So here I started with bigger paper. I got a bigger book. I washi taped, not very well apparently. I taped my edges that were popping out so that I could then put tags in the pockets. And that's as far as I've gotten to decorate that puppy. Just haven't done it yet. And the front keeps getting more and more speckled because it's been sitting on my desk. Yeah, these are often called zines. If you just Google book from one sheet of paper, you'll get videos and you'll get diagrams and stuff like that. Okay, but look how cute. Isn't that so cute? It's the best. Okay, anything else, my friends? Baby thighs, that's right, Donna. Baby thighs, baby thighs. Yep, I show this. I learned this from a Somerset Studio magazine years ago, but I mean, kids, art school, grade school art teachers are like, oh my gosh, we make those all the time. They're just a great project. They're great for kids. They're great for adults. You can make them funky artsy. You can make them really simple. It's just the best. So I took her off. Let's put her back on. She's going to go right back on the cover. I used to kind of giggle at people who baby talk their animals, and now I'm always like, hello, kitties. How's my baby? Titan's nickname is Boombasito, because Ajan's nickname is Boomba. So Titan is a little Boomba, though Titan is the biggest one of all of them because he eats like a dog. That cat. Hopefully this gave you inspiration. Please just have an adventurous spirit. I give you permission now to see what works. Remember, you've got to give yourself permission to make some real crappy art. And the best art comes from those play. Cindy, unfinished artwork is over. Cindy asked, where do you keep your unfinished work? Cindy, it's all over the entire studio. It's on the floor. It's in drawers. It's on shelves. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you look. I roll over it with my office chair. That's just what I do. All right, any last comments? Questions? Appreciate you guys so much. Share your work. Yep, you could totally bind them. You can sew signatures into the valleys. You can do all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuffings. All right. Use your craft. Use your burlap. Be proud. Be brave. I sure appreciate you guys. Talk to you all soon. Tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow.